Baladeva and Lady Subhadra. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Bolo.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Bolo.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Bolo.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
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 Jaya Jagannatha,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Bolo.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare
Jaya Jagannatha,
Jaya Jagannatha.
Jagannatha Baladeva Subhadra ki, Hari
Jai.
Hari Bol, Patita Pavana ki,
Jai.
Hari Bol.
Welcome everybody to Krishna Kirtan Music. We are very honored to have you here listening on Facebook and on YouTube.
And our friends on Zoom, and
Yes.
welcome to the Yogalution community in Long
Angeles.
Beach, California. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. We call them the smiling trio because they are
Always smiling.
always smiling.
Yes.
And they're also, I think we've come to love them as sort of the party deities. So there are different manifestations, and there are some that are more in the mood of awe and reverence, and there are some that are more in a very merciful mood, and others in a mood of Sringara or divine love, or parental care, like Balagopal, Krishna as a little baby. But Jagannath, Baladeva and Subhadra, this is a very, very special form or incarnation of God in God's unlimited incarnations. So Jagannath is Krishna, but displaying ecstatic symptoms. So it's a really interesting form of Krishna. So if you took a snapshot, so imagine a time where you were in your most ecstatic and just filled with absolute love and ecstasy, right? Now imagine that you had this fully spiritual form that was fully expressed. So, for example, with God's form, his ears can eat and his eyes can smell. So everything can do everything. He is complete. And so when he exhibits ecstatic symptoms, they look a certain way. And the first time Jagannath took his form was, so when we talk about Krishna and, the cowherd friends and all that, this is during his Yovana phase, when he was a very young child, and then in his sort of middle school age, so when he was playing with his friends and they would rough and tumble, and this was in Vrindavan, so it was very intimate, very no concept of God. So here you are, you're wrestling with God, you're playing with God, you're chastising him because he's broken into the pots and he's stolen your butter, and there are so many beautiful leelas, or you're dancing with him at midnight in the Rasa Leela, or you're chastising him because he's turned up too late for your date. But when Krishna grew up, he left his foster home of Vrindavan and he went to Dwarka, which is much further away. It's closer to Mumbai than it is to Delhi. And there he resumed his family of origin, if you like, because when he was a child, he was at great risk of being in danger, because there was a bounty on his head, because it was foretold that he would be the downfall of some less than pure entities. And so as a child, he sort of had a bit of a bounty on his head. So he was raised in Vrindavan. But in his later years, he went to Dwarka and resumed his more stately responsibilities. So in Dwarka, he is treated with great awe and respect. He is treated in the mood of Aishvarya, or opulence. But in Vrindavan, he's treated with Madhurya, or honey, sweetness. They have no idea he's God. They just love him. They're just so attracted to him. So during his time in Dwarka, there was a time of a solar eclipse, and it was recommended that this was a fabulous time to go to Kurukshetra and bathe in a pond near Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is the site of where the Bhagavad Gita took place. And so Krishna, Balaram, and all the court of Dwarka went to Kurukshetra, and all the residents of Braj, of Brindavan, which is closer to Delhi, they heard and they thought, oh my God, here is a chance for me to see Krishna. And so they also went on pilgrimage to Kurukshetra. And so, as you see in many festivals, many tents are set up. And so Rohini, the foster mother in Brindavan of Balaram, Krishna's older brother, she invited the queens of Dwarka and some others to listen to the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram in Brindavan. And so she understood this is very confidential pastime. Imagine if we were telling a story about the president or the head of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, talking about him doing the most personal things. You would post somebody at the door. Don't let the press hear about this. This is really secret stuff. So in the same way, and even more so, Rohini thought this is very intimate. Let me send Subhadra to the front of the tent to keep watch to make sure nobody was listening. So Subhadra stood outside the tent as Rohini recanted the most loving, intimate pastimes of Krishna as a little baby and Krishna as a toddler and Balaram and Krishna playing and then Krishna meeting Radha for late night trysts. So in this way she was telling these ecstatic pastimes. So Krishna and Balaram, they were passing by and they saw Subhadra outside and they were like, hello, 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 what's up here then? I don't know why Krishna's got a Cockney accent, but for the purpose of this story, Krishna has a Cockney accent. What's all this about then, love? And so he comes up close to the tent and he starts hearing these pastimes by Rohini and he starts remembering that intense love that he experienced, that exchange with his greatest bhaktas in Brindavan, and he couldn't help but fall into an ecstatic trance. And so when Krishna exhibits ecstatic symptoms, it's quite unusual, it's quite abstract. His head contracts and he sort of loses his neck. His limbs contract and he sort of loses definition in his limbs, and his eyes dilate and become very, very wide. And then Balaram could also hear these pastimes and seeing Krishna become ecstatic. He too became ecstatic. And then Subhadra, their sister, couldn't help but get a contact eye, and she also became ecstatic. And at this moment, Narada Muni, the great wandering saint who flies through the universes with his Veena, and he's a part of so many pastimes, he saw Krishna, Balaram and Subhadra in these ecstatic forms, just as we see here now. This is Jagannath, Baladeva and Subhadra in the Melbourne, Australia temple, looking so beautiful and opulent in Aishwarya, opulence. And he said, oh, this most merciful form, please would you manifest again like this so that all bhakti yogis can take advantage and meditate on the nectar of you in your form of Mahabhava Prakash, your great state of ecstasy, your manifestation of ecstatic ecstasy. And so Krishna manifested again in the future as Jagannath in this form. And so Jagannath, this is a Snana Yatra, this is a particular pastime. These are the Jagannath deities in Mayapur. This particular festival is where they're bathed. And the festival of all festivals, the Maha festival, is Ratha Yatra, Festival of the Chariots. Now because Jagannath, Lord of the universe, is known as Patita Pavana, the most merciful, my Param Guru, Srila Prabhupada, my Guru's Guru, he brought this festival of Ratha Yatra. So Jagannath resides in Puri, in India. And Puri is considered just as holy as every other holy place, because here in Puri all the pastimes take place. So there's this festival in Puri every year, except a little different during COVID, but it still went ahead, where many hundreds of thousands of people gather, as you can see, and the carts, the chariots of Jagannath, Baladeva and Subhadra are brought out. And so this festival, pulling the chariots, it's all human power, pulling of the chariots. This has been replicated since about the 60s? I need to check how early the very first Ratha Yatra was. But late 60s, early 70s, first Ratha Yatra was done in the West, in San Francisco. And to this day, there are yearly Ratha Yatras. This is going down Fifth Avenue in New York City. How, can I tell you, there is possibly very few things that are more ecstatic than singing and dancing down Fifth Avenue in New York City. Because when you reclaim the streets, when you put the cars to the side and you let the people dance in the streets, that's why there are songs about dancing in the streets, because it's so ecstatic. So yeah, this is so ecstatic. That's New York. And we also had pictures of Los Angeles. Where is that? In Venice Beach. Oh, so great. Always so great to do it on the beach in Venice Beach. And
Jaya Jagannatha.
Jaya Jagannatha. But whether it's Berlin, whether it's Paris, whether it's big or small, whether it's small like in Laguna Beach, California, where all the Choti deities are put on a little sort of palanquin as opposed to a cart, and they're just carried. Nevertheless, the Ratha Yatra festival is always so sweet and so ecstatic. And also, we have a dear friend, Sean, from Wisdom. Oh, this is a picture of sort of Jagannath Krishna. So, for example, Jagannath's appearance day is sort of May, June. That's the Jesta Purnima. So, and yet if Jagannath is Krishna, Krishna's birthday is in August, September, Janmashtami. But this appearance day for Jagannath is when Krishna appeared as Jagannath. That's the appearance day. So we celebrate both of these, and this form of Jagannath, he's really become, and he generally doesn't have hands and feet, but he said, out of mercy, I will allow you to give me bionic hands and feet every now and again. So you see these beautiful ornamented silver or gold hands that are placed on the deities. And very rare, I have a couple of friends who happen to have Jagannath deities, or one in particular that has Jagannath deities with hands, which is very rare. So interestingly, Jagannath comes from Orissa. So what also comes from Orissa is Odissi, which is the classical Indian dance form from this region. And this particular dance form, most of the steps derive from two basic stances. One is the Tribhanga form, or the threefold bending form of the Lord, like you see with Krishna, like that. This is the threefold bending form. And then the other one is the Chauk, where if you go to now a picture of Jagannath in his form, you'll see that his arms have come out wide to the side. So if you cut back to us, I can show these. So the Chauk this is the Chauk, and that's very much Lord Jagannath. And then go the picture of Krishna. This is the threefold bending form, the threefold bending form of Krishna. And so interestingly, in Odissi, all the dance steps originate from these variations of these two basic positions. So the mood of Jagannath permeates everything in Puri and in Orissa. It has such a beautiful mood of Jagannath. And because he is Patita Pavana, he is so merciful, my Param Guru said, bring Jagannath to every city on the planet so everyone can sing and dance and celebrate. celebrate the mood of ecstasy, which is what Jagannath is. It is that loving ecstasy felt when you're remembering your beloved. You're in separation, but it's not sadness, it's ecstasy because you're remembering them. So.
And then again, Jagannath, as Lord of the Universe, I just realized on this beautiful painting that you can see Saturn and other planets within the eyes.
Oh.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Wow, that is such an ecstatic picture. And so we also sang Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu Me. This is the last line of every verse of the Jagannath Astikam, the 8 verses prayer to Jagannath. And it's a really beautiful, beautiful prayer if you get a chance to listen to a version of it on YouTube. Oh, let's go through these pictures. But just one thing I wanted to say, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the incarnation of love, ecstatic love, feeling the love of Radha for Krishna, he recited this verse in front of the cart in Jagannath Puri at Ratha Yatra. And in fact, it is custom for the king of Orissa to sweep in front of the cart. So everybody gets involved and everybody understands. You can be a king, you could be a pauper, but you still, you still serve Jagannath. So what was that? Oh, our friend Sean, he has wisdom. So Jagannath is a party deity. Whenever we go to festivals, there is Jagannath. And so he has these domes. He has these wonderful domes. If you click on the neck, yes, here we go. So this is the outside of the dome, and he has a big face of Jagannath on there, and inside you go in and it's dark, but there's incredible visuals like these moving. And so we were so blessed that we got to do our mantra DJ sets in there with all these ecstatic visuals going on. And I tell you, it was the definition of good, clean fun. It was so ecstatic that everyone was dancing and chanting, and with good subwoofer. There's nothing quite like an electronic kirtan. So Sean, if you're listening, sending a shout out to you, Sean. Thanks for
also
tuning
shout out
in.
to Ivy. Thank you.
Oh, we
so
love you,
nice to
Ivy.
hear from you. Yes. So let's sing.
Yeah, so here's the
one
thing.
more time.
Let's invite Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, onto our tongue, right?
Yes.
And so with purified mind and purified senses and mouth, and just inviting the Lord into this sacred space, because God is present within the mantra, right? So when we sing, it is a way to engage. And so as we sing, meditate on the most merciful, the most fun. Oh, this picture, I've just got to give a shout out. This is from the 1800s, I think 1860, painted by a local painter in Calcutta, and so beautiful. This such an ecstatic form, this one. But let's go back to the one with the universe in his eyes. So let's meditate on Jagannath, so merciful, and maybe we can pray to have that same ecstasy enter into our minds and our hearts and our body, and maybe we can just feel just a drop of that same ecstasy that Jagannath felt when remembering his beloveds. And we'll leave this picture up so you can meditate. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra,
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Baba tume, Baba tume, Baba tume, Jaya Baba tume.
Baba tume, Baba tume, Baba tume, Jaya Baba tume.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha,
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha,
Jaya Baladeva,
Jaya Baladeva,
Jaya Subhadra,
Jaya Subhadra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Haribol, Jaya Jagannatha,
Jaya Jagannatha.
Jaya Baladev,
Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Subhadra. Thank you so much for joining us and celebrating the Smiling Trio. It's so beautiful to remember Ratha Yatra Festival and celebrate it with you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. It's always such a pleasure. So every week, 7 p.m. Los Angeles time, whatever that time is in your part of the world, and we're entering a little time right now where that tends to change.
Yes, and if you would like to join us here on Zoom with our friends, we cover some questions in call and response in live. So if you'd like to join us, please email us at krishnakirtanmusic@gmail.com with your name. So we'll let you in once you come here on Zoom. We'll send you the link as
Because
well.
it's a private group, we keep your video feed private, and we just stream this. But then afterwards, and we get to see you, but we also get to chat afterwards and go over some of the musicality
And the pastimes.
and the pastimes and
Do you
any
have any
questions you
questions?
might have. This particular melody, I don't know for certain. I would say it is displaying the characteristics of Mishra Bhairavi, but I haven't been told that authoritatively, and I am part of a descending knowledge base where I get my information from my teachers, and so, but on further identification, it seems like it's Mishra Bhairavi.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Yes,
please
please
go
do.
ahead. Here's the link. It's youtube.com/C/Krishna Kirtan Music for you to enjoy a lot of the recordings we've been doing. And we actually have a goal to record 108 different melodic versions of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Right now, we already have 15. I think
I
this
thought
is
it
going to
was
be
16.
16. Today is 16. So the very
You gypped me.
we are getting there, and we welcome your support. Here are the links for us to keep on recording all of these versions of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We welcome your support at paypal.me/Krishna Kirtan Music and patreon.com Krishna Kirtan Music. And for those of you in California, in the USA, we welcome your support on Venmo at Krishna Kirtan Music. So thank you so much in advance for your support, as
Thank you.
it is helping us record all of these versions of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
And yeah, so we're going to sign off on YouTube and Facebook now. We're going to stick around on Zoom. But thank you so much. We love you, and we love being able to connect with you every week. And we'll cook you up something new for next week.
Yes, absolutely. And once again, here is the
I'm
YouTube
feeling
channel.
Kafi Rag.
Coffee, right?
Yes,
That would be
it's-
amazing.
Yeah.
So please set up your Kirtan alarm for 7 p.m. Los Angeles or 7 p.m. Sydney. Your alarm can sound like
Wednesday,
this.
both days.
Wednesdays, thank you. And once again, the YouTube channel for you to listen for free to all of these recordings is youtube.com/C/Krishna Kirtan Music. So that's it for me. Do you have anything else to share?
That's it for me. Same Krishna time, same Krishna channel.
Yes. So we'll see you soon. Haribol. Thank you. Bye-bye. Stay on Zoom. For those of you here on Zoom.
Thanks,
please
Yogalution.
take
We
it.
love you.
Love you, Yogalution. Haribol.